stop right there. Before you toss that bacon into your cart, ask yourself, are you about to make a breakfast masterpiece or a big mistake? Welcome back to the channel, where we turn everyday foods into unforgettable experiences. And today, we're diving into the sizzling world of bacon brands. Bacon isn't just a breakfast side, it's a cultural obsession. Americans eat over 18 pounds of bacon per person each year. That's enough to wrap around the earth more than 20 times. But here's the catch. Not all bacon is created equal. Some brands are hiding secrets that could ruin your breakfast, waste your money, or even impact your health. Today, I'm exposing the truth behind the bacon brands lining your grocery shelves. Some are pumped full of water, chemicals, and fillers, leaving you with soggy, flavorless strips that shrink to nothing in the pan. Others use clever marketing to distract you from what's really inside the package: the stakes, your breakfast, your wallet, and your health. Some of the biggest brands are the worst offenders, using artificial smoke, fillers, and questionable sourcing. You might be paying more for a name, but getting less in taste and nutrition. But don't worry. I've done the taste tests, read the labels, and cooked up every strip so you don't have to. In this video, I'll reveal the 11 bacon brands you should avoid at all costs. And trust me, some of these will shock you. But it's not all bad news. I'll also share 3 bacon brands you'll absolutely love. Brands that deliver real flavor, honest ingredients, and that perfect crispy bite every time. These are the ones that deserve a spot in your cart and on your breakfast table. So, if you want to avoid soggy, disappointing bacon and discover the brands that will make your next breakfast unforgettable, stick around. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which bacon to buy and which to leave behind. Ready to find out if your favorite bacon makes the cut? Let's get crispy and dive right in. Now that we've set the stage for what makes great bacon, let's dive into our first brand, Oscar Mayer. We're starting here because Oscar Mayer is one of the most recognizable names in American bacon, and it's a brand that almost everyone has tried at least once. By examining Oscar Mayer first, we can establish a baseline for what to look for, and what to avoid, when evaluating bacon brands. Throughout this video, we'll be considering factors like flavor, texture, ingredients, production methods, and consistency. So, how does Oscar Mayer stack up? Founded in 1883 by German immigrant Oscar F. Mayer in Chicago, this brand quickly became a staple in American households. Back in the late 19th century, Oscar Mayer began as a small butcher shop, serving the local community with fresh, hand-prepared meats. The company's early success was built on a commitment to quality and personal service, with Oscar himself often working behind the counter. Over the decades, Oscar Mayer built its reputation on quality meats, catchy jingles, and that unmistakable yellow packaging that still stands out on grocery shelves today. Their iconic Wienermobile, first introduced in 1936, became a symbol of American pop culture, and their memorable commercials, like the famous My Bologna Has a First Name jingle, made the brand a household name, synonymous with family breakfasts and weekend brunches. In fact, Oscar Mayer's marketing innovations helped shape the way Americans think about packaged meats, making bacon and hot dogs a regular part of the national diet. But as the company grew, it shifted away from its humble butcher shop roots. Today, Oscar Mayer is owned by Kraft Heinz, one of the largest food conglomerates in the world, and its bacon is produced on a massive industrial scale. This transition from a family-run business to a corporate giant has had a profound effect on how the bacon is made. The focus has moved from artisanal craftsmanship to mass production, prioritizing efficiency and shelf life over traditional methods. In the past, bacon was typically cured and smoked slowly, allowing flavors to develop naturally. Now, the bacon is often injected with water, preservatives, and artificial smoke flavoring to speed up processing and extend its shelf life. This process, known as pumping, can add up to 10% of the bacon's weight in water, which not only affects the texture but also dilutes the flavor. The use of liquid smoke, rather than real wood smoking, is a shortcut that saves time and money but sacrifices the depth of flavor that bacon lovers crave. This industrial approach has a big impact on the final product. While Oscar Mayer bacon is available almost everywhere, from big box stores to corner groceries, the taste and texture often leave much to be desired. Many consumers report that the bacon lacks the rich, smoky flavor you'd expect from a premium product. In blind taste tests, Oscar Mayer frequently ranks near the bottom, with testers noting its blandness and lack of character. Food critics have pointed out that the bacon's uniform appearance and texture are a result of heavy processing, which strips away the natural variations that make bacon interesting. Even the aroma, which should be mouth-watering, is often described as faint or artificial. Instead of the crispy, savory bite bacon lovers crave, Oscar Mayer's slices frequently turn out limp and unevenly cooked. The high water content means the bacon often steams rather than crisps, resulting in soggy, rubbery strips that can be a letdown on your breakfast plate. This is especially frustrating for home cooks who want that perfect, Instagram-worthy bacon. In fact, some chefs recommend baking Oscar Mayer bacon in the oven on a rack to try to get it crispier, but even then, the results are inconsistent. The excess water also causes the bacon to shrink significantly during cooking, so you end up with less bacon on your plate than you expected. The flavor profile is another sticking point. Many reviewers describe Oscar Mayer bacon as overwhelmingly salty, with a processed aftertaste that masks the natural pork flavor. This is largely due to the use of additives like sodium nitrite, liquid smoke, and sugar, which are added to preserve the meat and create a uniform taste. Sodium nitrite, while effective at preventing spoilage and giving bacon its pink color, has been linked to health concerns when consumed in large amounts. The artificial smoke flavor, meanwhile, can leave a chemical aftertaste that lingers long after breakfast is over. Some consumers have even reported a metallic or bitter note, which is a telltale sign of overprocessing. Consistency is also a common complaint. Some packs contain paper-thin slices that burn quickly, while others are thick and fatty, making it nearly impossible to cook a batch evenly. This unpredictability frustrates home cooks who want reliable results. For example, you might open one package and find slices so thin they disintegrate in the pan, while the next package is full of thick, chewy pieces that never crisp up. This lack of quality control is a far cry from the days when butchers would hand-select and slice bacon to order. It's a gamble every time you buy a pack, never knowing if you'll get decent slices or a pile of fatty scraps. Many consumers have voiced their disappointment online, with some saying they've stopped buying Oscar Mayer altogether in favor of smaller, more consistent brands. In fact, the rise of local butchers and specialty bacon producers is partly a response to the shortcomings of mass-market brands like Oscar Mayer. These smaller producers often use traditional curing and smoking methods, resulting in bacon with richer flavor, better texture, and more reliable quality. So, as we continue through this list, keep in mind the key criteria: flavor, texture, ingredients, production methods, and consistency. Bacon should be the highlight of breakfast, not a disappointment. With so many better options out there, it might be time to reconsider what you're bringing home from the store. If you're looking for bacon that delivers on flavor, texture, and satisfaction, consider exploring brands that focus on quality over quantity. Look for bacon that's naturally smoked, free from unnecessary additives, and sliced to your preference. Your breakfast and your taste buds deserve better. Time to wake up and try better options. Your taste buds will thank you. Remember, not all bacon is created equal, and with a little extra effort you can find a brand that truly sizzles. Before we dive into our next brand, let's quickly recap what makes bacon worth buying, or worth skipping. We're looking for consistency in slice thickness, quality ingredients, balanced flavor, and a satisfying texture. Bacon should cook up evenly, deliver that signature smoky taste, and leave you wanting more, not less. With those criteria in mind, let's take a closer look at one of the most popular budget options out there: Great Value. Great Value is Walmart's budget bacon, and at first glance, it's easy to see why so many shoppers toss it into their carts. The price tag is hard to beat, often coming in at just a few dollars per pound, sometimes as low as $3.50, while premium brands can easily run $7 or more for the same amount. For families on a tight budget or anyone looking to save, it's an appealing option. In fact, Walmart's Great Value line is designed to offer affordable alternatives to name brands across the store, and bacon is no exception. But when it comes to bacon, sometimes saving money means sacrificing more than you bargained for. The biggest issue with Great Value bacon? Consistency. Or rather, the lack of it. You never really know what you're going to get when you open the package. One week, you might get a decent batch, but the next, you could be in for a real disappointment. This unpredictability is a common complaint among budget bacon brands, but Great Value seems to take it to another level, compared to brands like Oscar Mayer or Wright, which tend to have more uniform slices and reliable quality. Great Value is a gamble every time. This inconsistency can be traced back to the way budget bacon is processed, often using lower grade cuts and less stringent quality control measures to keep costs down. Sometimes the slices are neatly arranged, but more often, they're a tangled mess. One pack might be okay, the next a disaster. It's a gamble every time. For example, one reviewer wrote, "Half the slices were stuck together in a clump, and I had to peel them apart with a knife." This isn't just inconvenient, it can actually damage the bacon, leaving you with torn, uneven pieces before you even start cooking. This problem is especially frustrating for anyone who likes to prepare bacon for sandwiches or recipes where presentation matters. Inconsistent packaging is often a sign of rushed production lines, where speed is prioritized over careful handling. The slices themselves are often wildly uneven. Some are paper-thin, others are thick and fatty. This makes it nearly impossible to cook the whole batch evenly. You end up babysitting the pan, flipping and rearranging, just trying to avoid disaster. Another customer complained, some pieces burned while others were still raw. It was impossible to get them all cooked right. Ingredient-wise, Great Value bacon contains the basics: pork, water, salt, sugar, sodium erythorbate, and sodium nitrite. But compared to higher-end brands, it often has more water and added preservatives, which can affect both texture and flavor. The extra water is added to increase weight and lower costs, but it means you're paying for moisture that cooks off, not actual meat. Some pieces burn to a crisp before the thicker ones are even close to done, others stay chewy and undercooked, no matter how long you wait. One consumer review summed it up: "I spent more time managing the pan than actually enjoying breakfast." The extra water in the bacon can cause it to steam rather than sizzle, leading to limp, greasy strips instead of that perfect, crispy bite. This is a common issue with lower-cost bacon, as the added water not only dilutes flavor but also interferes with the Maillard reaction, the chemical process that gives bacon its signature crispiness and deep flavor. And then, there's the flavor. Instead of that rich, smoky punch you crave, you get something bland and oily. The bacon leaves behind a greasy residue, and the taste just doesn't deliver. As one reviewer put it, "It tasted more like salt and oil than actual bacon." In blind taste tests, Great Value bacon consistently ranks near the bottom, with testers noting its lack of smokiness and artificial aftertaste. The higher sodium content is noticeable, but it doesn't make up for the lack of real bacon flavor. In fact, many budget bacons use liquid smoke or artificial flavorings to mimic the taste of traditional wood-smoked bacon, but the result is often a chemical aftertaste that lingers long after breakfast is over. Nobody wants to chew through a greasy, flavorless strip just to save a buck. Breakfast should be something you look forward to, not a letdown. "I ended up throwing most of it away," another customer admitted. When you compare the finished products side by side, the difference is obvious. Great Value bacon is paler, floppier, and leaves a puddle of grease, while premium brands are crisp, golden, and appetizing. In fact, a 2022 consumer report found that nearly 60% of shoppers who tried budget bacon brands like Great Value said they would not purchase them again, citing poor texture and lackluster taste as the main reasons. If you want to treat yourself, spend a little more on a better brand. The difference in taste, texture, and overall experience is worth those extra few dollars. While Great Value might save you $3 or $4 per package, the trade-off in quality is hard to ignore, especially if bacon is the star of your breakfast. Premium brands often use traditional smoking methods, higher quality pork, and stricter quality control, resulting in a product that's not only tastier, but also more satisfying. Plus, you're less likely to waste food, since you'll actually want to eat every slice. Your breakfast will thank you, and you'll actually enjoy every bite. When it comes to bacon, sometimes you really do get what you pay for. So next time you're shopping, remember, a few extra dollars can make the difference between a disappointing meal and a breakfast worth waking up for. As we move down the list of bacon brands, it's important to keep in mind the same criteria we've used for others: taste, texture, smoke, and nutrition. Smithfield bacon is a staple in grocery stores across the country, and for many families, it's a familiar sight in the refrigerated section. The brand has been around for over 80 years, and its widespread availability and competitive pricing have made it a go-to choice for countless shoppers. But, just like we saw with previous brands that prioritize convenience over quality, Smithfield's popularity doesn't always translate to a great eating experience, especially when it comes to taste and nutrition. One of the most persistent complaints from consumers is the overwhelming saltiness of Smithfield bacon. If you take a closer look at the nutrition label, you'll notice that Smithfield bacon often contains significantly more sodium per serving than many of its competitors, sometimes upwards of 400 milligrams per slice. For context, the American Heart Association recommends no more than 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day, and ideally closer to 1,500 milligrams for most adults. Just a few slices of Smithfield bacon can put you well on your way to exceeding that limit. The moment you open a pack, the aroma that hits you is mostly salt, with only the faintest suggestion of smoke. Many people describe the taste as aggressively salty, to the point where it can overpower the flavors of eggs, pancakes, or anything else on your breakfast plate. Some reviewers even say it feels like you're chewing on a salt lick, rather than enjoying a balanced savory slice of bacon. This isn't just a matter of personal preference. Excess sodium can have real health consequences, contributing to high blood pressure and increasing the risk of heart disease. For families trying to make healthier choices, Smithfield's heavy hand with the salt shaker can be a real drawback. This is a recurring theme among the lower-ranked brands we've discussed so far. Too much salt, not enough balance. When it comes to smoke flavor, Smithfield falls short again, much like some of the other mass-market brands we've covered. Instead of the deep woodsy richness you get from brands that use real hardwood smoking, Smithfield relies heavily on artificial smoke flavoring. This shortcut is common in mass-produced bacon where speed and cost savings often take priority over traditional methods. The result is a taste that many consumers find flat and one-dimensional, lacking the complexity and authenticity that true bacon lovers crave. Real hardwood smoking can take hours and imparts a nuanced flavor profile with subtle notes of hickory, applewood, or maple. Artificial smoke, on the other hand, tends to be sharp and monotone, missing the depth that makes bacon truly special. Texture is another area where Smithfield struggles, echoing issues we've seen with other brands that cut corners in processing. The slices often curl and cook unevenly, making it difficult to achieve that perfect crispy bite. Some pieces end up chewy while others are overly crunchy, leading to an inconsistent mouthfeel that can be frustrating for anyone who values a uniform bacon experience. This inconsistency can be traced back to the way the bacon is processed and sliced. Mass-produced bacon like Smithfield's is often cut quickly and not always with precision, resulting in slices of varying thickness and fat distribution. This makes it nearly impossible to get every piece to cook the same way, no matter how careful you are at the stove. This inconsistency is a common complaint among consumers, who report that it's nearly impossible to get all the slices to cook the same way. You're left with a strange mix of textures on your plate, instead of the satisfying even crispiness that makes bacon so enjoyable. For those who love to cook breakfast for a crowd, this can be especially frustrating. No one wants to serve a plate of bacon where half the pieces are limp and the other half are burnt. This is a pattern we've seen with other brands that focus on quantity over quality. Many people end up leaving Smithfield bacon uneaten, disappointed by the lack of balance and the artificial taste. Online reviews frequently mention the overpowering salt and the underwhelming smoke, with some customers saying they've switched to other brands after just one try. In fact, a quick search on popular food forums and review sites reveals a pattern. Consumers consistently rank Smithfield lower than brands that use traditional smoking methods and more careful seasoning. Some even share stories of hosting brunches or family breakfasts, only to have guests push the bacon aside in favor of other options. This mirrors the feedback we've seen for other brands that don't deliver on flavor or texture. In contrast, brands like Wright and Nueske's, both of which we'll discuss in more detail later, are praised for their harmonious blend of savory, smoky, and just the right amount of salt. These brands use real hardwood smoking and carefully control their seasoning, resulting in a bacon that's consistently delicious and satisfying. For example, Nueske's has been family-owned for 3 generations and is known for its 24-hour applewood smoking process, which gives the bacon a signature flavor that's both rich and balanced. Wright, meanwhile, is famous for its thick-cut slices and slow smoking over hickory wood, creating a texture and taste that stands out from the crowd. If you're looking for a truly enjoyable bacon experience, it's worth skipping Smithfield and reaching for a brand that delivers on both flavor and texture. With so many better options available, many of which use time-honored smoking techniques, and pay close attention to seasoning, you don't have to settle for bacon that's all salt and no smoke. Whether you're making a classic BLT, a hearty breakfast, or just craving a crispy snack, choosing a quality bacon brand can make all the difference in both taste and satisfaction. And as we continue through this list, you'll see even more examples of brands that get it right. As we move from the last brand's pitfalls, let's turn our attention to Hormel Black Label, a name that's been a fixture in American kitchens for generations. With its bold packaging and premium promises, it's easy to see why so many shoppers reach for it. The Black Label line, introduced and then introduced in the early 1960s, was meant to be a cut above Hormel's standard bacon, targeting those who wanted something special for their breakfast. But does it really deliver? Many home cooks say no, and the most common complaint is the overwhelming greasiness that seems to overshadow every other quality. Let's break down why Hormel Black Label's greasiness has become such a sticking point for bacon fans, whether you're a casual eater or a breakfast enthusiast. When you cook up Hormel Black Label, you'll quickly notice just how much fat renders out, often much more than you'd expect from a premium product. Even after draining the bacon on paper towels, your plate can look like an oil slick. The grease pools around the bacon, soaking into everything, and you're left wondering if you're eating bacon or just a mouthful of oil. Some home cooks have even measured the rendered fat, finding that a single 12-ounce package can produce up to a quarter cup of grease, far more than many competing brands. By comparison, some artisanal or center-cut bacons yield only half that, resulting in crispier, meatier slices, and a much cleaner plate. This excess grease isn't just a minor annoyance, it affects the bacon's texture, the cleanup, and even the flavor. Some people report having to swap out paper towels multiple times, while others say the bacon's taste gets lost in all that oil. This isn't just a single person's gripe. Online reviews echo the same frustration, and the complaints are widespread. On food forums, Reddit, and review sites like Amazon and Influencer, dozens of customers have voiced their disappointment with Hormel Black Label's excessive greasiness. One reviewer wrote, "I had to change the paper towels 3 times and my kitchen still smelled like a fryer." Another said, "It's like the bacon is more fat than meat. I felt like I was eating a grease sponge." Many reviewers also mentioned that the bacon shrinks dramatically during cooking, leaving behind thin, limp strips and a puddle of oil. This shrinkage is a clear sign of high fat content, and it means you're getting less actual bacon for your money. In fact, a 2021 consumer survey found that nearly 40% of people who tried Hormel Black Label cited greasiness as their top complaint, far more than issues like flavor or price. Experts have weighed in too. Food scientists point out that the high-fat content in Hormel Black Label is partly due to how the pork belly is trimmed and processed. Unlike some premium brands that carefully balance the fat-to-meat ratio, Hormel's cuts often contain more visible fat, which translates directly into more grease in the pan. And it's not just anecdotal. In a 2022 consumer bacon taste test by a major food magazine, Hormel Black Label ranked near the bottom for texture and greasiness, with testers noting that it left puddles of oil on their plates compared to other brands. Unfortunately, the flavor doesn't make up for the mess. Instead of a rich, smoky taste, you get something flat and generic, almost as if the bacon's true character's drowned out by all that excess oil. And then there's the texture. Sometimes it's rubbery and chewy, refusing to crisp up no matter how long you cook it. Other times it's so fatty that half your slice seems to melt away, leaving you with little more than a greasy residue and a disappointing bite. For a brand that markets itself as premium, you'd expect a lot more. The packaging might look fancy, but what's inside just doesn't deliver on that promise. Instead, you're left with bacon that looks and tastes like a letdown. If you're after bacon that's truly crispy, flavorful, and satisfying, you'll want to look elsewhere. There are plenty of options that offer a better balance of taste and texture, without all the extra grease. So next time you're shopping for bacon, remember, public opinion, expert reviews, and taste tests all point to tastier, less greasy options out there that will actually live up to your breakfast expectations. Bar S bacon is a familiar sight in the refrigerated section of many supermarkets, especially those catering to budget-conscious shoppers. With its bright packaging and rock-bottom price, it's easy to see why Bar S is often the go-to choice for families trying to stretch their grocery dollars. In fact, Bar S is one of the most widely distributed bacon brands in the United States, found in thousands of stores nationwide. But as we've seen with other budget brands, the old saying rings true: you often get what you pay for. With Bar S, that low price tag comes at a significant cost to both quality and flavor. Many customers report that Bar S bacon has a noticeably rubbery texture, even after extended cooking. Unlike premium brands that crisp up beautifully, Bar S slices tend to remain limp and chewy, no matter how long they're left in the pan. This is a common complaint echoed in online reviews and consumer taste tests. The flavor is often described as bland, with little of the smoky, savory punch that makes bacon so irresistible. Instead of the rich, meaty taste bacon lovers crave, Bar S delivers a muted, almost generic pork flavor that fails to satisfy. Building on those issues, one of the biggest complaints is the use of fillers and additives. Bar S bacon slices are typically very thin, and the ingredient list reveals a reliance on water, salt, and preservatives to bulk up the product. In fact, water is often listed as the second ingredient, which is unusual for quality bacon. This not only dilutes the flavor, but also means the bacon shrinks dramatically during cooking, leaving you with less actual meat on your plate. Some food experts point out that the high water content is a cost-saving measure for manufacturers, but it comes at the expense of taste and texture. The use of additives like sodium erythorbate and sodium nitrite, while common in processed meats, is especially pronounced in Bar S, contributing to its artificial aftertaste. Instead of hearty bacon, you're often left with a pan full of grease and disappointment. The high fat and water content render out quickly, leaving behind small, shriveled pieces and a mess to clean up. In fact, some home cooks have noted that after cooking a full package of Bar S, there's barely enough bacon left to make a decent sandwich. The excessive grease can also make cleanup a hassle, and it's a clear sign that you're not getting much actual meat for your money. Even when compared to other budget bacon brands, Bar S consistently ranks at the bottom for both taste and texture. In blind taste tests conducted by food bloggers and consumer magazines, Bar S is frequently described as lacking depth, with an artificial aftertaste that turns off many bacon enthusiasts. For example, in a 2022 consumer panel, Bar S scored the lowest out of 10 brands for both flavor and mouthfeel. Testers noted its spongy texture and chemical notes, especially when compared to slightly more expensive brands that use better cuts of pork and fewer fillers. For many shoppers, the small savings just aren't worth it. They often say they'd rather spend a little more for a bacon that delivers on flavor, texture, and overall satisfaction. In fact, online reviews for Bar S are filled with comments from customers who regret their purchase, citing the lack of taste and poor cooking results. Some even mention using Bar S only as a last resort or for recipes where bacon isn't the star ingredient, like in soups or stews, just to avoid wasting it. If you want real bacon flavor and a satisfying breakfast experience, it's best to skip Bar S and invest in a brand that delivers quality you can taste. As we've discussed, value for money isn't just about the lowest price, it's about getting a product you'll actually enjoy eating. Spending a little more on a better brand means you'll get more meat, better flavor, and a breakfast that truly hits the spot. So next time you're in the bacon aisle, think twice before reaching for the cheapest option. Your taste buds will thank you. As we move through our list of bacon brands to avoid, Farmland naturally finds its place here, right in the middle of the pack. Its widespread availability and classic blue and white packaging make it a staple in many grocery stores, and for years, it's been marketed as a go-to, all-American breakfast choice. But when you dig deeper, it becomes clear why Farmland deserves its spot in this sequence. It's a brand that promises tradition, yet consistently underdelivers on the qualities bacon lovers crave most. The flavor profile of Farmland bacon is frequently described as flat, muted, and lacking depth. Instead of the rich, smoky, and savory notes that define great bacon, Farmland's offering is often one-dimensional with a faint saltiness but little else to excite the palate. In blind taste tests conducted by food bloggers and culinary magazines, Farmland consistently ranks near the bottom, with tasters noting the absence of that signature bacon punch. Some even compare it to eating a salty piece of ham rather than true bacon, missing the complexity that comes from careful smoking and seasoning. In multiple taste tests, participants noted that Farmland bacon struggles to achieve the ideal texture. Whether cooked low and slow or quickly over high heat, the slices tend to end up either limp and greasy or burnt and brittle, rarely hitting that perfect crispy yet tender balance. This inconsistency can be frustrating for home cooks who want reliable results. Food forums are filled with stories of Farmland bacon that either falls apart in the pan or turns into a crunchy, overcooked mess, making it difficult to achieve that satisfying bite that bacon enthusiasts crave. The slices themselves are noticeably thin and fragile. Many customers have reported that the bacon breaks apart easily, making it difficult to cook or serve without ending up with a pile of crumbled pieces rather than hearty strips. This thinness is often the result of cost-cutting measures, as thinner slices mean more servings per package, but it comes at the expense of quality. In comparison, premium bacon brands often offer thicker, sturdier slices that hold up well during cooking and provide a more satisfying mouthfeel. Another common complaint is the watered-down quality of Farmland bacon. As it cooks, the bacon releases a significant amount of liquid, resulting in a diluted flavor and a lack of that satisfying sizzle. This excess moisture can also make it harder to achieve a crisp finish. The presence of added water is often a sign of lower quality processing, where brining or injecting solutions are used to increase weight and shelf life. Not only does this impact the taste, but it also means you're paying for water instead of pure pork, which can be disappointing for those seeking value. When it comes to sourcing, Farmland promotes its use of pork from American farms, but there's little transparency about the quality of the meat or the curing process. Some customers have expressed disappointment in the lack of information about animal welfare or sustainable practices, which can be a deciding factor for those seeking higher quality bacon. In today's market, more consumers are looking for brands that are open about their sourcing, use humane farming methods, and avoid unnecessary additives. Farmland's vague claims make it hard for shoppers to feel confident about what they're bringing home. Customer experiences echo these concerns. Online reviews frequently mention the underwhelming taste, inconsistent texture, and the tendency for the bacon to shrink dramatically during cooking. Many reviewers say they expected more from a brand with such a strong presence in stores. Some even share photos of their cooked bacon, showing how little is left after the excess water cooks off. Food critics have pointed out that, while Farmland may be convenient and affordable, it often fails to deliver the kind of breakfast experience that bacon lovers are after. So, as we continue our countdown, Farmland stands as a clear example of a brand that doesn't quite meet expectations. Its placement here is no accident. If you're seeking bacon with bold flavor, satisfying texture, and trustworthy sourcing, you'll want to keep moving down the list. There are better, more memorable options ahead that truly deliver on the promise of a great bacon experience. After looking at the last brand, let's talk about a name that's practically synonymous with buying in bulk, Kirkland Signature. If you're a Costco regular, you know the satisfaction of loading up your cart with enough groceries to last for weeks, all while feeling like you're getting a great deal. And for bacon lovers, Kirkland Signature is often the top pick for stocking up without breaking the bank. On paper, buying bacon in bulk seems like a no-brainer. You get a lower price per pound, fewer trips to the store, and plenty of bacon for big breakfasts, meal prep, or parties. For large families or anyone who loves hosting brunch, those giant packs are hard to resist. It's no wonder Kirkland Signature Bacon is a bestseller in Costco's meat department thanks to its reputation for value. But here's where things get tricky. Kirkland Signature Bacon is known for being inconsistent. Some packs are decent, but others are filled with fatty, uneven slices that are tough to cook evenly. You might get slices that are paper-thin on one end and thick and chewy on the other, making it nearly impossible to achieve that perfect crispy texture. This inconsistency isn't just annoying, it can lead to wasted bacon with some pieces burnt and others undercooked. When you buy in bulk, you're committing to several pounds of bacon that might not live up to your expectations. If you get a disappointing batch, you're stuck with a lot of it, taking up precious freezer space and possibly going to waste. Freezing bacon can help it last longer, but it won't fix issues with quality or flavor. And bacon that's been frozen and thawed more than once can lose its texture and taste, making the letdown even worse. Unlike smaller premium brands that focus on quality and consistency, Kirkland's bulk approach means more variability from pack to pack. Artisanal brands often use higher quality pork, natural curing, and careful smoking methods. This attention to detail results in bacon that's more uniform, flavorful, and satisfying. With Kirkland, you might get lucky, or you might end up disappointed, especially if you're used to the rich, smoky flavor of premium bacon. In taste tests, Kirkland's Signature Bacon often comes up short. The flavor is usually average, missing the smoky depth or sweet notes that make bacon memorable. Food critics and home cooks alike have pointed out that Kirkland's bacon can taste bland or overly salty, with little of the complexity found in smaller batch brands. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. For those who see bacon as a treat, this can be a real letdown. For bacon fans who crave that perfect balance of crispiness, flavor, and aroma, Kirkland's bulk bacon can be underwhelming. Imagine planning a special breakfast or brunch, only to have the star of the meal fall flat. Even kids and less picky eaters sometimes notice the difference, leaving slices untouched on their plates. Sometimes, less really is more. Choosing smaller packages from brands that focus on quality can mean better taste, more consistent slices, and a more satisfying bacon experience overall. Many premium brands use heritage breed pork, natural seasonings, and traditional smoking techniques, resulting in bacon that's worth savoring. Plus, you're less likely to waste food or freezer space on something you don't truly enjoy. So before you fill your freezer with pounds of Kirkland bacon, weigh the pros and cons. Bulk buying can save money, but it's only a deal if you actually enjoy what you're eating. For many bacon fans, smaller packages deliver better taste, quality, and satisfaction, bite after bite. Remember, with bacon, quality really does make a difference, and sometimes, paying a little more for a lot better is the best deal of all. Wright Brand's thick-cut bacon is hard to miss on the shelves. With its bold packaging and promise of hearty slices, the brand has built a reputation for offering a more substantial bacon experience, appealing to those who crave a meatier, more satisfying bite. In fact, thick-cut bacon has become increasingly popular in recent years, as consumers look for bacon that stands up in sandwiches, burgers, and breakfast plates. But as we've seen with brands like Oscar Mayer and Great Value, thickness isn't everything. Consistency and quality matter just as much, if not more. The main issue with Wright Brand is the lack of uniformity in their cuts. Some slices are impressively thick, while others are noticeably thinner or packed with excess fat. This inconsistency isn't just a minor annoyance, it can seriously impact your cooking results. Imagine preparing breakfast for a group, only to find that some pieces are nearly raw while others are overcooked. Whether you're pan-frying, baking, or even grilling, the uneven slices make it nearly impossible to achieve that perfect, even crispiness across the batch. This is a problem we've also seen with lower-tier brands, but it's especially disappointing from a premium label. When you try to prepare a batch, you'll often find that the thicker, fattier pieces take much longer to cook, while the thinner ones crisp up too quickly. The result? Bacon with crispy edges, but chewy, greasy centers that just don't render out properly. This is a common frustration among home cooks and even professional chefs who rely on consistency for predictable results. In fact, some food experts recommend avoiding brands with inconsistent cuts altogether, as it can throw off the timing of your entire meal, something we also noted with brands like Smithfield. The unrendered fat leaves a rubbery texture that can be tough to chew and less enjoyable to eat. This is especially disappointing for those who love bacon's signature crunch. Inconsistent rendering also means you're left with greasy, limp pieces that don't deliver the satisfying bite you expect. Fun fact: properly rendered bacon fat is not only tastier, but also healthier, as it reduces the amount of saturated fat in each bite. When the fat doesn't render, you're missing out on both flavor and texture, an issue that's plagued several brands on our list. For a brand that often comes with a premium price tag, you'd expect a premium experience. Wright Brand is frequently marketed as a top-tier bacon, and its price reflects that. But when you're paying more, you want to know you're getting consistent quality. While the flavor is generally smoky and savory, thanks to Wright's traditional hardwood smoking process, the inconsistent cuts and unpredictable texture can leave you feeling short-changed. It's a reminder, much like with Hormel Black Label, that price doesn't always guarantee satisfaction. If you do decide to try Wright Brand, here are a few preparation tips. Cook the bacon low and slow to give the thicker slices time to render their fat. This method helps prevent burning the thinner pieces while waiting for the thicker ones to cook through. You might also want to separate the slices by thickness before cooking, so you can remove the thinner ones earlier and avoid burning. Some home cooks even use 2 pans or stagger the cooking times to manage the differences. It takes extra effort, but it can help salvage your breakfast, something you might not have to worry about with more consistent brands like Applegate. Ultimately, when you buy thick-cut bacon, you expect every bite to be just right, crispy, flavorful, and satisfying. Don't settle for less. If consistency and quality matter to you, consider exploring other brands that deliver on their promise every time. Remember, the best bacon isn't just about thickness or smoke. It's about craftsmanship, attention to detail, and a commitment to quality from the first slice to the last. Next up in our evaluation is Applegate Naturals, one of the most recognizable names in the world of better-for-you bacon. Founded in 1987, Applegate has built its reputation on providing meats that are free from antibiotics, hormones, and artificial ingredients, a mission that resonated with consumers long before clean eating became a mainstream trend. Their products are marketed as the gold standard for health-conscious shoppers, with labels proudly declaring no antibiotics ever, no added nitrates or nitrites, and pork that's humanely raised. These claims aren't just marketing fluff. Applegate sources its pork from farms that adhere to strict animal welfare standards, often verified by third-party organizations. The ingredient list is refreshingly short, typically just pork, water, sea salt, turbinado sugar, and natural flavorings like celery powder, which acts as a natural preservative. For many, this clean label is a huge selling point, especially for families looking to avoid artificial additives and questionable chemicals. In fact, celery powder is commonly used in uncured bacon as a natural source of nitrates, which helps preserve the meat without synthetic additives. The packaging and advertising make you feel like you're making a better decision for your body and the planet. Applegate emphasizes animal welfare, environmental responsibility, and transparency, which resonates with shoppers who want to support ethical food production. For example, their pork is often certified by organizations like Certified Humane or Global Animal Partnership, and the company is vocal about supporting regenerative agriculture practices. Nutritionally, Applegate Naturals bacon is lower in sodium and contains fewer preservatives than many mainstream brands, making it a popular pick for those watching their intake of processed foods. According to the USDA, a typical slice of Applegate bacon contains about 210 milligrams of sodium compared to 300 milligrams or more in some conventional brands. This can make a significant difference for people managing high blood pressure or trying to reduce their sodium intake. Additionally, the absence of artificial preservatives and colorings appeals to parents and anyone concerned about the long-term effects of consuming synthetic additives. However, as we continue our organized review, it's important to consider taste alongside nutrition and sourcing. When it comes to flavor, Applegate Naturals often falls flat. The flavor is so mild it borders on bland, and the texture can be inconsistent, sometimes crisp, but often dry and leathery. Unlike traditional bacon, which delivers a bold, smoky punch, Applegate's natural approach can leave you wanting more. The lack of artificial smoke flavor and heavy curing agents means the bacon doesn't develop that deep, savory richness many bacon lovers crave. In blind taste tests, Applegate frequently ranks lower for flavor intensity and overall satisfaction compared to classic brands like Oscar Mayer or Wright. Some fans appreciate the subtlety, but for most, it just doesn't satisfy the classic bacon craving. This is a common trade-off with natural or uncured bacon. While you avoid certain additives, you may also lose out on the robust flavors that come from traditional smoking and curing processes. For example, many artisanal bacon makers use hardwoods like hickory or applewood to impart a signature smokiness, while Applegate's milder process is designed to keep things simple and clean. Transitioning to alternatives, it's clear that while the natural label is appealing, bacon should still feel like a treat, not a compromise. There are healthier options out there that don't sacrifice that smoky, savory punch you crave. Some brands manage to balance clean ingredients with robust flavor, using traditional smoking methods or unique spice blends to elevate the taste without resorting to artificial additives. For instance, brands like Neiman Ranch and Pedersen's Natural Farms use old-fashioned smoking techniques and carefully sourced spices to create bacon that's both wholesome and deeply flavorful. Even some local butchers are experimenting with natural cures and real wood smoke to deliver a product that satisfies both health and taste. The key is finding a brand that doesn't just check the natural box, but also delivers on the sensory experience that makes bacon so beloved. In summary, if you want both clean ingredients and great taste, you might want to keep looking. Applegate Naturals is a solid choice for those prioritizing health and transparency, but if flavor is your top priority, you may find yourself reaching for something a little more indulgent. As we move through the bacon aisle, remember, new brands are constantly emerging that promise both ethical sourcing and mouth-watering flavor. Don't be afraid to experiment. Your perfect bacon might be just a taste test away. Sugardale bacon is a staple in supermarkets nationwide, often stacked high and promoted as a budget-friendly pick. Its low price and easy availability have made it a common choice for families watching their grocery bills. But as we've seen with other brands in earlier chapters, convenience and cost don't always equal quality. Sugardale's reputation, unfortunately, is built on more than just affordability, and not in a good way. One of the most common complaints about Sugardale is its unmistakable chemical aftertaste. Across online reviews and forums, just like we saw with other problematic brands, consumers describe the flavor as artificial, sometimes even plastic-like, and overwhelmingly unpleasant. Many say the taste is so off-putting they can't finish their meal. This isn't just a rare opinion, it's a recurring theme that's hard to ignore. What's causing this odd flavor? A look at the ingredient list gives us some clues. Sugardale bacon is packed with preservatives like sodium nitrite, artificial smoke flavoring, and a mix of other additives, much like some of the other brands we've already discussed. While these are common in processed meats, Sugardale's formula seems especially heavy-handed. The result is a flavor that tips from savory to synthetic, leaving that lingering, unnatural aftertaste. Texture is another weak spot. Sugardale slices are thin and flimsy, making them tough to handle and even harder to cook evenly. In the pan, they curl and shrink dramatically, just like some of the other low-quality brands we've covered, leaving you with small, uneven pieces that lack the crispiness bacon lovers crave. Premium brands, by contrast, offer thicker, sturdier slices that hold up and deliver a satisfying bite. Even when cooked carefully, Sugardale bacon often ends up tough and chewy, not tender or crunchy. The high water and additive content interfere with proper fat rendering, so you're left with bacon that's hard to bite through, far from the melt-in-your-mouth experience you'd expect. For many, this is the deal-breaker. The flavor profile is equally disappointing. Reviewers often say Sugardale tastes more like chemicals than pork, with some even noting a metallic tang. The bacon's color can also look off, grayish or pale, suggesting the curing process isn't as natural or effective as it should be. As we've seen in previous chapters, appearance matters, and these visual cues often point to deeper quality issues. The negative feedback is widespread. Online forums, social media, and professional taste tests consistently rank Sugardale near the bottom for both flavor and texture. Food bloggers often include it on their worst bacon lists, and social media is full of warnings to steer clear. This consensus echoes what we've seen with other brands that just don't measure up. If you're serious about your bacon, it's best to skip Sugardale and try one of the better brands we've highlighted in this series. With so many options offering thicker cuts, natural ingredients, and real smoky flavor, there's no reason to settle for bacon that tastes more like chemicals than comfort food. Treat yourself to bacon that delivers on both taste and quality. Gwaltney bacon is one of the most affordable and widely available options on the market, often found in major grocery stores and supermarkets across the country. For decades, Gwaltney has positioned itself as a budget-friendly choice for families looking to stretch their grocery dollars, and its bright packaging is a familiar sight in the refrigerated section. But the low price comes at a cost. Gwaltney's bacon slices are so thin, you can practically see right through them as they cook in the pan. In fact, some consumers have joked that a single slice is almost transparent, making it difficult to get that satisfying, meaty bite you expect from bacon. When you compare a slice of Gwaltney to a premium brand, the difference is striking. Gwaltney's bacon looks flimsy and insubstantial, lacking the hearty thickness that makes bacon satisfying. Premium brands often boast slices that are twice as thick, allowing for a crisp exterior and a chewy, flavorful center, something Gwaltney simply can't deliver. Once cooked, the slices shrink even further, often curling up and nearly vanishing on your plate. What you're left with are limp, greasy strips that don't deliver the satisfying crunch or chew you expect from good bacon. This is a common complaint among reviewers, who note that the bacon seems to evaporate in the pan, leaving behind more grease than actual meat. The disappointment doesn't end with the texture. Gwaltney bacon is almost completely lacking in flavor. There's barely any smoky aroma, and the savory notes that make bacon irresistible are missing. Unlike artisanal or premium brands that use real wood smoke or carefully balanced seasoning blends, Gwaltney's flavor profile is flat and uninspired. The slices have little to no visible seasoning, and the taste is bland. There's no real bacon character, just a faint hint of salt and fat. This lack of flavor can be especially disappointing if you're using the bacon as a key ingredient in recipes, like BLTs or breakfast scrambles, where you want the bacon to stand out. Even picking up a piece can be a challenge, as the bacon is so floppy and greasy that it falls apart easily, making it difficult to enjoy in a sandwich or as a breakfast side. Many people find that the slices tear or crumble when you try to lift them, which can be frustrating if you're serving guests or trying to make a hearty breakfast. While Gwaltney might seem like a good deal at first glance, the lack of substance, flavor, and satisfying texture means you're not really getting your money's worth. In fact, some food experts recommend spending just a little more for a higher quality bacon that will actually enhance your meals. Brands that use traditional smoking methods, thicker cuts, and real seasoning can make a world of difference in both taste and texture. So, if you want bacon that delivers on taste and quality, it's worth spending a little more for a brand that won't leave you disappointed. Your breakfast and your taste buds will thank you. After exploring the bacon brands you might want to avoid, let's shift gears and celebrate the ones that truly stand out for all the right reasons. First up, Nuesquez, a name that's become synonymous with premium bacon for good reason. Founded in Wisconsin in 1933, this family-owned company has spent generations perfecting their craft, and it shows in every single bite. The story of Nuesquez began during the Great Depression, when R.C. Nuesky started selling his smoked meats to local grocers and neighbors. Over the decades, the company has remained in the family, passing down traditional techniques and a relentless commitment to quality. The moment you open a pack of Nuesquez, you're greeted by an intense, rich aroma, smoky, savory, and mouth-watering. That's the result of their meticulous, old-fashioned smoking process, which is at the heart of what makes Nuesquez so special. Unlike many modern producers who rely on shortcuts, Nuesquez still uses traditional smokehouses and time-honored methods, ensuring every batch is infused with authentic flavor. Each slab of bacon is slow-smoked for at least 24 hours over real Wisconsin applewood, not just for a hint of flavor, but to deeply infuse every slice with a complex layered smokiness. This isn't the artificial liquid smoke you'll find in mass-market brands. Nuesquez uses real wood, real smoke, and real time. Applewood is prized for its mild, slightly sweet smoke, which imparts a unique character to the bacon. This slow smoking process is labor-intensive, but it's what gives Nuesquez its signature depth and complexity. The bacon itself is thick-cut, with a hearty texture and beautiful marbling. When you cook it, the slices crisp up perfectly on the outside while staying juicy and tender inside, a true sign of quality pork and expert curing. Nuesquez sources their pork from trusted farms, focusing on well-marbled cuts that deliver both flavor and texture. The difference is obvious when you compare it to thinner, greasier supermarket bacon. Nuesquez holds its shape, cooks evenly, and never shrivels into nothing. Nuesquez's signature glaze adds a subtle sweetness that balances the salt and smoke, creating a flavor profile that's both bold and refined. The result is bacon that's not just salty or smoky, but also has hints of caramelized sweetness and a lingering, savory finish. This glaze is a closely guarded family recipe, and it's what sets Nuesquez apart from other artisanal brands. Chefs across the country seek out Nuesquez for its versatility, whether it's candied for brunch, wrapped around scallops, or simply enjoyed on its own. In blind taste tests, Nuesquez consistently comes out on top, praised for its balanced flavor, satisfying chew, and irresistible aroma. Food critics and culinary magazines have awarded Nuesquez numerous accolades, and it's a staple in high-end restaurants and gourmet kitchens. Whether you're serving it at a special brunch, adding it to a gourmet burger, or just enjoying it on its own, Nuesquez delivers a bacon experience that's truly a cut above the rest. Even celebrity chefs like Emeril Lagasse and Thomas Keller have sung its praises. If you're looking to treat yourself or impress your guests, Nueske's is absolutely worth every cent. You're not just buying bacon, you're investing in decades of tradition, craftsmanship, and a flavor that's unforgettable. Whether as a gourmet gift, a holiday breakfast centerpiece, or a secret ingredient in your favorite recipes, Nueske's stands as a testament to what bacon can be when it's made with patience, pride, and passion. If you're passionate about clean eating and transparency in your food, Pedersen's Natural Farms is a brand that truly delivers. Founded in 1992 in Hamilton, Texas, Pedersen's began with a simple mission: to create food that's as close to nature as possible, without sacrificing taste or quality. Over the years, they've become a leader in the natural meat industry, setting high standards for both flavor and ethical sourcing. Their bacon is crafted with a short, recognizable ingredient list. No artificial preservatives, no added nitrates or nitrites, and always uncured. This means you're getting bacon that's free from the synthetic chemicals and additives found in many mainstream brands, making it a top choice for health-conscious consumers. In fact, Pedersen's was one of the first companies in the US to offer a no-sugar, Whole30 approved bacon, which quickly became a favorite among people following clean-eating diets. Pedersen's sources their pork from family farms that prioritize animal welfare, ensuring the pigs are raised without the use of antibiotics or growth hormones. These farms use humane practices, such as providing pigs with access to open pastures and natural diets, which not only supports better farming practices but also results in a higher quality product. According to the company, their commitment to ethical sourcing is about more than just animal welfare. It's about supporting sustainable agriculture and rural communities. You can see and taste the difference. The bacon is vibrant, fresh, and free from unnecessary chemicals. The natural curing process allows the true flavor of the pork to shine, without being overshadowed by artificial smoke or excessive salt. In fact, Pedersen's uses real wood chips for smoking, which imparts a subtle, authentic flavor that's hard to replicate with artificial additives. The pork flavor is bold and natural, never masked by additives. Each slice is thick and meaty, with a satisfying bite that crisps up beautifully in the pan or on the grill. The balanced flavor profile, smoky, savory, and with just a hint of sweetness, comes from real wood smoking and a careful blend of seasonings, not from artificial flavors. For example, Pedersen's uses a blend of sea salt, celery powder, and natural spices to cure their bacon, which not only preserves the meat, but also enhances its natural taste. This attention to detail means you get a bacon that's not just a side dish but the star of any meal. Many chefs and home cooks alike praise Pedersen's for its consistency and the way it elevates classic recipes, from breakfast spreads to gourmet sandwiches. Pedersen's bacon is versatile enough to elevate any meal. Whether you're layering it on a BLT, wrapping it around vegetables, or serving it at breakfast, the clean ingredients let the true bacon flavor take center stage. The texture is consistently excellent, crisp on the edges, tender in the middle, and never greasy or overly salty. For example, their bacon holds up well in recipes like bacon-wrapped asparagus or crumbled-over salads, adding a rich, savory note without overpowering other ingredients. Because it's not loaded with excess fat or sodium, it's also a favorite for meal preppers and those looking to add protein to their diets without unwanted extras. For families and individuals who want to enjoy classic comfort food without compromising on quality or health, Pedersen's is a standout choice. Their bacon is gluten-free, paleo-friendly, and often Whole30 approved, making it suitable for a wide range of dietary needs. In fact, Pedersen's was one of the first brands to be certified by the Whole30 program, which is a testament to their commitment to clean eating. Plus, the company is transparent about their sourcing and production methods, so you always know exactly what you're eating. They even offer detailed information on their website about their farms, animal welfare standards, and ingredient sourcing, giving consumers peace of mind and building trust. With Pedersen's, you get more than just bacon. You get peace of mind. Their dedication to clean ingredients, ethical sourcing, and big satisfying flavor makes every bite feel like a guilt-free treat. It's bacon you can feel good about serving to your family, and a brand that sets the standard for what clean, flavorful bacon should be. In addition, Pedersen's is committed to environmental responsibility, using eco-friendly packaging and supporting sustainable farming initiatives. They also engage with their community through educational programs and partnerships with local organizations, further demonstrating their commitment to making a positive impact beyond just their products. So, if you're looking for bacon that's as wholesome as it is delicious, Pedersen's Natural Farms is a name you can trust, bringing together clean eating, responsible farming, and big, unforgettable flavor in every slice. Whether you're following a special diet or just want to make better choices for your family, Pedersen's offers a product that's both satisfying and aligned with your values. It's proof that you don't have to compromise on taste to eat well and do good. As we wrap up our list of bacon brands to love, Benton stands out as a true artisanal icon. Nestled in the foothills of Madisonville, Tennessee, this legendary smokehouse has been perfecting the art of bacon since 1947. Founded by Albert H. Hicks and later taken over by Alan Benton in the 1970s, Benton's has become synonymous with traditional Southern curing methods and uncompromising quality. Over the decades, their bacon has earned a cult following among chefs, food critics, and home cooks alike, even gracing the menus of Michelin-starred restaurants and being featured in national publications. What truly sets Benton's apart is their unwavering commitment to old-school, hands-on craftsmanship. Each slab of pork belly is carefully dry-cured by hand with a simple blend of salt, brown sugar, and black pepper. No shortcuts, no artificial additives. This process is a nod to Appalachian traditions, where preserving meat was a necessity before refrigeration. The slabs are then stacked and left to cure for weeks, not days, allowing the flavors to deeply penetrate the meat. This extended curing time is crucial. It draws out moisture, concentrates the flavors, and creates the signature texture that Benton's is known for. Unlike many commercial brands that rely on injections or quick cures, Benton's slow approach ensures every bite is packed with authentic, robust flavor. After curing, the bacon is slow smoked for days in small batches, using real hickory and applewood. This traditional smoking process infuses every slice with a profoundly smoky aroma, reminiscent of a campfire in the Appalachian Mountains. The smokehouse itself is steeped in history, with thick blackened walls that have absorbed decades of smoke, adding to the complexity of the flavor. Benton's doesn't use liquid smoke or artificial flavors. Instead, the bacon is exposed to real wood smoke, which imparts a depth and richness that simply can't be replicated by modern shortcuts. The result? Slices that are thick-cut, rustic, and full of character. When you cook Benton's bacon, it crisps up beautifully on the outside while staying juicy and tender inside, a texture that's nearly impossible to achieve with mass-produced brands. The marbling and fat content are perfectly balanced, giving each bite a satisfying chew. Unlike thin, uniform supermarket bacon, Benton's slices are hearty and substantial, making them ideal for everything from breakfast plates to gourmet sandwiches. Many chefs prefer Benton's for its ability to hold up in recipes, whether wrapped around vegetables, crumbled into salads, or served as a show-stopping centerpiece. Each bite is a symphony of flavors, salty, deeply smoky, and with a subtle hint of caramelized sweetness that comes from the slow curing and smoking process. The natural sugars in the cure caramelize as the bacon cooks, creating those irresistible crispy edges and a rich, lingering finish. Food writers often describe Benton's bacon as meaty and complex, with layers of flavor that unfold as you chew. The rendered fat is prized for cooking, adding a smoky depth to everything from scrambled eggs to roasted vegetables. In fact, some chefs save the bacon drippings to use as a secret ingredient in sauces and dressings, amplifying the umami in their dishes. Benton's bacon isn't just food, it's an experience. Whether you're serving it as the star of a hearty breakfast, layering it on a gourmet BLT, or using it to elevate a classic southern dish like collard greens or beans, its bold flavor and artisanal quality shine through. Many home cooks and chefs alike rave about how a little bit of Benton's goes a long way, transforming simple recipes into something truly memorable. It's also a favorite for special occasions, think brunch gatherings, holiday breakfasts, or as a luxurious addition to charcuterie boards. The versatility of Benton's bacon means it can be enjoyed in countless ways, from traditional Southern fare to innovative culinary creations. Let's break down why Benton's earns its place as a brand to love. First, the craftsmanship. Every slab is hand-cured and smoked with patience and tradition. Second, the flavor, deeply smoky, complex, and layered, with a texture that's both crisp and juicy. Third, the reputation, praised by top chefs, featured in acclaimed restaurants, and beloved by food enthusiasts nationwide. And finally, the experience. Benton's bacon elevates any meal, turning the ordinary into the extraordinary. While it may be harder to find than supermarket brands, the effort is always rewarded. Whether you order online, discover it at a specialty shop, or make a pilgrimage to Madisonville, you're tasting a piece of Southern heritage. In summary, Benton's is more than just a bacon brand. It's a benchmark for what bacon can and should be. Its legacy, flavor, and artisanal quality make it a standout in the world of cured meats. If you're searching for a bacon that truly delivers on every level, Benton's is a brand you'll love, and a fitting finale to our list of bacon brands worth seeking out. After our deep dive into the world of bacon, one thing is clear: not all bacon is created equal. The choices you make at the store matter, both for your taste buds and your health. Over the years, bacon has evolved, with new processing methods, additives, and sourcing practices shaping what ends up on your plate. But you don't have to settle for less. We uncovered 11 bacon brands that fall short, whether it's excessive additives, questionable sourcing, or lackluster flavor. Many rely on artificial preservatives like sodium nitrite or source pork from factory farms with poor animal welfare standards. And let's face it, bacon should be delicious, not rubbery or bland. But there's good news. 3 standout brands truly deliver. They use better ingredients, traditional smoking methods, and pork from responsible farms. Choosing these brands means enjoying richer flavor and supporting ethical, sustainable practices. Next time you're shopping, take a moment to check those labels. Look for bacon with fewer artificial ingredients, lower sodium, and clear sourcing information. Certifications like humanely raised or organic can make a real difference. Don't be afraid to compare brands side by side. Use apps and online resources to check nutrition facts and ingredient lists. Being picky about your bacon isn't just about taste, it's about making smarter, healthier choices for you and your family. Every time you choose quality bacon, you're voting for better farming, higher standards, and a tastier breakfast. Remember, pasture-raised pork isn't just better for the animals, it's better for you too. Now it's your turn. What's your go-to bacon brand, and what matters most to you when you shop? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and help others make better choices. If you found this guide helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more honest food reviews, and share this video with your fellow bacon lovers. Together we can raise the bar for bacon everywhere. Don't settle for bad bacon, demand the best, and savor every bite.